Hi, I'm Mandy and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be cooking one of my another favourite soup of mine, which is a pea and lettuce Thai soup. And this is from a really sort of old store favourite cookbook of mine, which I'm going to show you, which is the Tamazins Kitchen Bible. And I just go to this for really good, old favourite recipes that we sort of like forget about, or we go and buy them pre-packaged at the supermarket these days, but not anymore. Anyway, it's a bit of a weird one because you think like lettuce cooked in a soup, but it works. And I've actually, because of a bit of a shopping malfunction and not checking my freezer, I'm actually going to use 300 grams of edamame beans instead of peas. Nutritionally, they're both great for us, and so I'm happy to use these, and they're a great sort of produce of fibre, so that's going to be good. So what we're going to start to do first of all is we're going to have 1 teaspoon of cumin and 1 teaspoon of of whole coriander seeds, so whole coriander seeds and whole cumin seeds, and we're just going to, so I've got 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds in there and another teaspoon of cumin seeds, and just literally give those a little fry off, only for like 30 seconds, just a little bit of heat, and just to sort of get the aromas going from those spices. And then once that's done for like literally 30 seconds, we're going to take that off the heat, and then we're going to fry up. What I've got here is I've got 2 onions finely chopped. You can roughly chop them because this is all going to go into a blender or with a handheld blender, and it's all going to be mushed up. So how you chop your garlic, ginger and everything, it can all be like really loosely done, so we don't have to get too precious about finely chopping anything. So I reckon once you start to smell it, if I can just whiff it over there. It's gorgeous, really smells nice. So that's enough of that, so we're going to take that off for the moment. And actually what I'm going to do is so I don't want it overcooking in the heat of the pan. I'm going to take that off, pop that back in there, and then we'll use that in a mo. And sorry for the bleeping noises. Now I've got my soup pan on the heat. I'm going to put a couple of glugs of olive oil of your choice. And then we are going to gently fry our onion. Give that a little bit of a whiz around. So we're just going to give that a bit of a fry up for like just a few minutes. And while that's going to that heat up, there we go. While that's gently heating up in there, I'm going to then, after that, once that's heated up for about 5 minutes, I'm then going to add my ground spices back into it. Some dried chilli or chilli paste, whatever you've got to hand. About a thumbnail size of ginger. I mean, I'm a big fan of ginger, so I always go a little bit over generous with my ginger. But I know that people don't like it. So, and I've got 2 cloves of garlic and a thumb size of ginger, but I've gone a little bit more, and that will go into the pan in a minute. Now, what else will go into the pan then is one of these little beasts, which is a celeriac. The original recipe in Tamazin's book calls for a potato, but this has a lower GI. It's like packed with fibre. It's lower in, not that calories matters, but I just find it's a lighter root vegetable to use, and I also like the taste of it. So I am going to use this big bad boy. If you do see a celeriac in your, don't be afraid of it, in the supermarket or in your greengrocers, wherever you go these days, give it a go, because it works really well with mash. I'm just really quickly, you can see this, like some of the skins get, it's a little bit knobbly in places. If you're diabetic and you're watching your blood sugars, this is also a better alternative to use instead of a potato. All we're going to do with this is kind of like, it's what you do with a potato really. It's quite soft as well. It's not as, sometimes a sweet potato can be quite hard. This is quite soft, and it does discolour quite quickly. So don't leave, well, a bit like a potato would actually, if you leave them, they go that little browny colour. So we're just going to chop this into sort of really bite-sized pieces. Like I said, really roughly, because it's all going to get blended up at the end. So either use one to two large potatoes or one celeriac for this. So this is just being super chopped in here. Just give it another little chop there. When you're doing this on camera, it's got a completely different vibe to when you're sort of like just, when you've got the radio on at home, glass of wine on the go, and just happily cooking away, chatting to friends or by yourself. Smells coming up from those now, all looking good. So now I'm going to add into my onions my roasted spices. So that's my roasted whole cumin, 1 teaspoon of whole cumin, 1 teaspoon of whole coriander seeds. So that's going into my onion mix there. And then I'm going to add in my ginger and garlic, which has just all been finely chopped, grated. If you need to, and it's more convenient for you, you can use ginger paste, you can use the garlic paste. You know, these are just speedy little shortcuts that you can use, but I don't think you can beat the flavours of doing it fresh. And as I always say, there's just a nice, if you have got the time, if you have got the luxury of that time, it can be quite relaxing and therapeutic just sitting there doing a few bits and bobs. But I know that sometimes time is king and it's just a bit like, ugh. So, and let that gently cook for a little bit longer. And we're going to then add in either our medium potato or our celeriac. And then I'm going to put in some vegetable stock, which I've got 400 mils of vegetable stock here. Now I've actually got a fresh chicken stock because I just had some lurking around in my freezer and I thought I would use that. But literally, you know, if you've got a stock cube and that's what you need to use, pop that in. So 400 mils. So that is going to go in my carb. They're going in. And then my stock is going in. And I am just going to let that all simmer away for about 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. And then we'll come and join me back when that's done. Okay, so my pea and lettuce soup has been now cooking for 25 minutes. And as you can see, this is really simmering away there in all the stock. So now all I'm going to do is add a tin of coconut milk to the potatoes or the celeriac and onion mixture with all the spices. Add that in, all the cream and goodness. Let me just get that all in there. And all we're going to do is get this back up to a simmering point. So that's 1 tin of full fat coconut milk. It's gone in there. I'm going to give that a quick stir in there. And let that heat up. And whilst that's heating up, on just a medium heat, I'm going to chop my washed lettuce. Now I've used a little gem lettuce, but you can use just a bog standard round lettuce or a romaine lettuce or a cos lettuce, spinach. You know, you can replace it up, bump it up, whatever you fancy. It just makes for a really tasty, spicy meal. And what I tend to do with this soup, which is what I love about it, is that if you fancy a bit of meat, you can add a bit of cooked chicken to it during the week. So once you've got the base of it, you can add some rice to it. You can add an extra power pack of vegetables, maybe some broccoli, some carrots, whatever you fancy. Once you've got the base of this done, it's almost like having a Thai curry in a soup, and then you can just add all your other flavours to it and really enjoy it, which is what I love about it the most. So let's see, this isn't quite simmering again yet. So you want to basically get it so it's all hot. So actually, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's put it all in. So I'm going to put in either, so if you're cooking with peas, put your peas in. Obviously, I've got edamame, so I'm going to pop those into it now. And my chopped lettuce. So that's all in there. And I'm just going to get the lettuce to really wilt now. I'm going to give that a few minutes all in there together, mix it all in. All we really want to do here now is get everything heated up, and then we're going to blend it. So I'm just going to leave that for 5 minutes with the lid on, gently heating all up, and then we'll come back to it and blend it and eat it. Okay, so we've been having this on the heat for the last 5 minutes now, and it's all cooked in, and it honestly smells divine. And all I'm going to do now is blend it all together. Just give it a good old blitz. So if you've got a handheld blender, if you've got a food processor, I normally do this in a food processor, to be honest with you, but we're just going to blend it all together. And when you are blending, I mean, I personally like a slightly more rustic soup, but I know some people like really smooth soups. So again, just go with what your taste buds are. But okay, so I think it's all blended up in there. Like I said, if you've got a food processor, it's a much quicker process. We should be ready to go. So ready to eat. So let's dish this up and see what we've got. And like I said earlier, you can add to this, add more chilli, add different vegetables, just get really creative. And as always with all the things I do, you know, this is a great one for freezing and just getting it out as and when you feel like it in the morning, and then you haven't got to worry about it in the evening. So let's just have a little try of this. It's just such the taste in that comes through is just with the herbs, and the chilli is just delicious. So if you want to tune in for more recipes from Mandy's Kitchen, subscribe below and enjoy.